Happy Monday, TV family. We're back on this 4th day of May, 2026. I'm Dan Kuntz, your host. Our 11-day Wing Ding, our 11-day party known as the Washington State Apple Blossom Festival, in the books. And now we have a great big collective hangover, whether you indulged or not. We got some cleaning up to do around Memorial Park. Outside of that, pretty darn good weekend. A lot of people watched the Classy Chassis Parade in person. A lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, watched the Stemmill Growers Grand Parade, one of the biggest turnouts we've ever had. For obvious reasons, the weather was like perfect, high overcast, so it was lovely. In fact, we almost set a record both on Saturday and Sunday. We'll get to those details in just a little bit, but it was just a beautiful day. And we were in for a long period of sunny and warm weather, and I mean for a long period. They say all the way through the middle of this month, we could see sunny and temperatures well above normal and bone dry. Forecast details are coming up. There is news to get to. As you might imagine, there's lots of sports to get to. Kansas City is not very good, but they sure took it to the Mariners over the weekend, including yesterday. We'll have highlights of that. A lot of prep action. Now, all the smaller schools in our area, spring sports will be entering into the playoffs now. Some of them are already in the playoffs. For the bigger schools, Wenatchee, Eastmont, and Moses Lake that we cover, their playoffs for spring sports don't begin until next week, but we'll have that. And because it is this Saturday, one more reminder for the 5th Apple Valley Record Expo. Joel Myrene's putting it on once again at the Oddfellows Hall, about 8 blocks to the north of where I'm sitting. I will be there in line at 10 o'clock to pay the early $5 admission fee. So if you're into records, and I am, as you probably know, we'll talk to Joel in the back half of the program. I'm waiting for that. It's going to be a good time on Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. It is camera time on this Monday morning. First of all, it's 57 degrees in the Wenatchee Valley. Ephrata is at 64. It's also a little breezy in Ephrata. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Yesterday's high was 85, just 2 off the record high for May 3rd. Saturday's high was 83, as you look at the Hay Canyon camera. 83 on Saturday was also just 2 off the record. So we were just 2 degrees off the record highs both Saturday and Sunday. We're not going to set a record high today. That high is 89. We'll be below that. We'll have a few high clouds today. And keep in mind, we hit 85 and 83. Our normal high is 68. Yeah, it was a warm weekend. And again, the long-range prediction says we're going to have warmer than normal temperatures all the way into the middle of the month. Sunrise this morning was at 5:39. Sunset tonight 8:17. 14 hours, 38 minutes of daylight, a little less than 3 minutes of additional daylight today. And up to Billy Goat we go. And you folks up in Omak, you're going to be a little on the breezy side, also out in the Columbia Basin. We're not going to be too bad as far as breezes. We have some cooler air coming in from Canada, but we could see some wind in some pockets of our viewing area as the day progresses, especially to the north of us, as you can see up in the Omak, Okanagan, Orville area, down the trench there. A wind will pick up a little bit of speed, and out in the Columbia Basin could be a little breezy as well, and it's certainly going to be very warm. Now, normally we would do this on the first day of the month, which was Friday, but we didn't have a chance. We were a little busy on Friday. So, from the Climate Prediction Center, the month of May, for the entire month of May, and it's pretty obvious as you can look at the Pacific Northwest, we have a very good chance of seeing above normal temperatures and below normal precipitation. It could be a very, very warm May. From our friends at Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, it's where comfort, care, and community come together. High of 86 today. You invert that to 68. That's our normal high. So, yeah, we'll be a good, I don't know, 15, 16, 18 degrees above normal. We will see some high clouds and a little breezy today and tonight. No high clouds expected on Tuesday. Just lots of sunshine with a high of 83 degrees. 85 Wednesday, 82 Thursday, little cooler on Friday, little cooler on Saturday, but not that much. This ridge of high pressure is now moved in over the weekend. It was well entrenched by about midday yesterday, and it is going to stick around for the foreseeable future. Not a raindrop to be had, just sunny and warm, and I expect that the area hillsides will be starting to dry out rather rapidly throughout the course of the week. Going to take a break and come back with your Monday morning headlines, and there's a lot to touch on. It's 2 minutes away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Get ready to sip, sway, and celebrate at the Lake Chelan Wine and Jazz Festival, May 14th through the 17th. Experience over 35 live performances featuring jazz, blues, funk, and more, all set across award-winning wineries and scenic venues around Lake Chelan. Enjoy world-class wine, incredible food, and one-of-a-kind musical journey through wine country. Don't miss the Lake Chelan Wine and Jazz Festival. Get your tickets now at chelanwinejazz.com.
A new video game, a movie, dinner with friends. There are a lot of things worth saving up for. Vapes aren't cheap, and buying pods over and over can stop you from affording things you want more. When it comes to your money, choose what matters. Choose you.
When life gets stressful, jumping into your passions can help you find your calm. Avoid vapes, which contain nicotine and can make feelings of anxiety and depression worse. When it comes to your mental health, choose what matters. Choose you.
At Colonial Vista Senior Living, we believe life is meant to be lived fully. Our wellness programs inspire residents to stay strong, flexible, and confident every day. Here, curiosity is encouraged, friendships are nurtured, and every activity is an opportunity to connect, create, and enjoy life together. We invite you to experience the lifestyle at Colonial Vista Senior Living for yourself and discover why so many call our community home.
It is mild, high clouds, 57 degrees. Will be about, 86 or so today. An unseasonably warm stretch of weather, which began really over the weekend, is going to hang with us at least all through this week and perhaps even longer than that. It's 7 minutes after the hour. A 3-vehicle collision on Highway 97 near the BB Bridge on Friday killed 2 motorists and a 20-year-old passenger, and the road was impossible to get through for about 4 or 5 hours. The Washington State Patrol says Derek J. Reardon, 47 of Republic, he was driving southbound at about 9:11 in the evening when his 2013 Chevrolet Silverado crossed into the northbound lane, striking an oncoming 2001 Honda Civic. This happened 2 miles south of the BB Bridge. The Silverado then traveled on and struck a second northbound vehicle, a 2013 Jeep Grand Cherokee. The crash killed Reardon, who was the only occupant of the pickup, as well as the driver of the Jeep, David R. Klein, 22 years old, and passenger Ella Weaver, 20 years old, both from Orcas Island. All 3 were pronounced dead at the scene. The occupants of the Civic, Eugene B. Renner of Omak and Dario Martinez of Bridgeport, both 53 years old, were injured and treated at Lake Chelan Health. The State Patrol says the cause of the crash is under investigation. It is unknown this morning whether drugs or alcohol played a role. A disaster assistance team with representatives from FEMA and the Washington State Emergency Management Division. They're going to be in Leavenworth for a couple of weeks. This month, the team will be available to help individuals and families applying for federal assistance following the December flooding and windstorms. A disaster assistance center will be open on weekdays, May 11th through the 15th, and again on May 18th through May 22nd. The center will be established at the Leavenworth Chamber of Commerce. The deadline, by the way, to apply for assistance from the federal government is June 10th, and more information on how to do so can be found by going to our website. Link Transit is seeking public input on its next leader. Link Transit's board of directors will host a meet and greet with 2 finalists for the open CEO job, and that's happening tonight at Link headquarters, not just down the street from us. The selected candidate will replace current CEO Nick Covey, who's retiring after over 30 years with Link. Don Billen is Link's transit planning manager. He's one of the finalists. In his role, he oversees the service development, strategic planning efforts, and long-term system design, according to the news release. The second finalist is Patrick Prusser, who currently serves as the Chief Operations Officer for the Regional Transportation District in Denver, again, according to the release. He has also held previous executive leadership roles with the Utah Transit Authority, City and County of Honolulu, Department of Transportation, and TriMet in Portland. The one-hour event takes place on the 3rd floor of Columbia Station. It'll begin at 5:15 tonight. In a case that stems from a 2004 murder in Grant County, the Washington Supreme Court ruled on Friday that criminals cannot seek to vacate their convictions until after they're released from custody. Dustin Gene Abrams is serving 24 years for the murder of 79-year-old Michael B. Mallon near Soap Lake. Abrams was initially arrested and pled guilty to robbing Mallon's home, but when Mallon's body was discovered months later, Abrams entered a plea to second-degree murder. The theft convictions have now run their course, and in 2022, Abrams asked from prison to have them stricken from his record. Grant County Court and the Court of Appeals turned down that request, and on Friday, the Supreme Court ruled in a 5-4 decision that he must be free of all custody on all convictions before being asked to have his convictions vacated. Abrams remains held in the Monroe Correctional Complex. Elected commissioners of 2 NCW utilities are now serving on the board of Energy Northwest. That's the joint operating agency for Washington's 28 public power districts and municipal electric services. Last week, the Energy Northwest Executive Board selected Jerry Asmussen from the Okanogan County PUD and Randy Smith with the Chelan County PUD to serve on what are called, quote, inside directors. Those are voting board members who are picked from among the participating agencies. Energy Northwest also has 3 outside directors who don't represent PUDs. The board sets policies that govern the joint agency's operations. Smith and Asmussen are among 5 PUD commissioners picked to serve 4-year terms. And that's just a little of what we have in store for you tonight. Going to be busy on a Monday. It usually is in the newsroom, but we got the crew to handle it. And they'll be spitting out the news tonight, the NCW Life Evening News at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock this evening, 5, 6, and 10 on television. If you don't consume television traditionally, we'll be up on our YouTube page right around 5 o'clock. We're on Roku, we're on Apple TV. We got that Amazon Fire Stick thing going on. We got X, Instagram, Facebook. We have it all. And we have an email address, too, which is kind of important. You got a news tip? Send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. Not a very good weekend for the Mariners. The offense went to sleep for 3 days. Sports is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Between juggling groceries, preparing meals, and lending a helping hand, you're a hero without a cape. But who's there to support you? Aging and Adult Care honors caregivers like you, the relatives, friends, and neighbors, helping loved ones remain safely at home. Aging and Adult Care offers chore services, respite, personal care, and more. Serving Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Lincoln, Adams, and Okanogan counties, call Aging and Adult Care at 1-800-572-4459 for caregiver support.
A kitchen that makes mouths water and jaws drop. A bedroom from a dream with a bath from a spa. A walk-in you'd never want to walk out of. A pool like the fountain of youth. And a view that never gets old. When buying or selling a home of the highest standards, it's comforting to be represented by a real estate company with standards to match. Coldwell Banker Global Luxury. Live well with Coldwell.
You trust the same doctor for your health and the same dentist for your smile. Trust Global Car Care to keep your vehicle running strong. We track your car's history so it gets the right care at the right time. With our 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on parts and labor, you'll drive away with confidence. Global Car Care, your automotive experts. We service all makes and models, but specialize in Sprinter vans, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, and BMW. Call or visit us today.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, your place for fun, food, and friends. Happy hour every day, 2 to 7. Try their brand new menu and famous prime rib every Saturday night. Planning a celebration? Book your holiday party, wedding, or private event, even in their exclusive simulator rooms. Highlander Golf Course and Grill, where every day is a celebration. Visit today.
Sports a quarter after the hour. The Kansas City Royals entered the weekend 3-12 on the road. They ended the weekend 6-12 on the road, including yesterday's 4-1 victory over the Mariners, so they sweep all 3 games in Seattle. Mariners had just 4 hits and scored their only run on a fielder's choice in the third. Louis Castillo wasn't his fault. He pitched pretty good, but his record falls to 0-3. The Royals sweep all 3 games.
Against Kansas City. This is fair to Pasquantino, slings a throw to second, and no throw over to first. Leo Rivas scores, and the Mariners on the boards, 1-0 in the bottom of the third.
Naylor gets the job done. Royals all over the bases.
And he lays off the high fastball for a bases-loaded walk. Coming back from 1-2. And the Royals tie it up.
Excellent eye by Carter Jensen.
On the ground to Naylor. Out at second. That's it. So Caglione gets an RBI, getting Vinny down from third, and the Royals lead 2-1.
Okay, the leadoff hit single by Witt Jr. and Vinny.
Not very deep. Rodriguez gets behind it. Salvi is the runner at third. He's coming. Here's the throw. 3 hops, and Salvi is out. He says no. He thinks he
And that is a nice sliding catch, Connor Joe. That ball hung up and started tailing away a little bit more, and Connor Joe flags it down to make the catch.
Probably the hardest part of this was that he was battling the sun the entire way. He had to come a long way to get to this ball. You can see that reflection of the sun off of his sunglasses. Fantastic play.
That's a pretty good imitation of Dave.
That's belted. Rodriguez is on the run, and it's going to be over his head.
Come on, Cags.
Here comes Cags around third. Here's the relay, and he will be safe. Colliding with Pareda. Collins goes into second base, and the Royals lead 4-1.
On a 1-2. Line drive, left field, towards the alleyway. Julio gets there to cut it off. And the Royals have it first and third. No, they're throwing. They're coming home. The throw into second. Play at the plate. Tag and out at home. Isbell is out at home plate. The throw went to second, and they waved him home. And he's cut down at the dish.
And swung on and missed. Jensen is down to Vinny, and the Royals sweep the Mariners in Seattle.
Beautiful. What a series. 4-2 record on the road. Boys, just get on the bus and forget about us.
By the way, the Mariners had to do without Cal Raleigh over the weekend. He's currently day-to-day, not on the DL yet, but we shall see. The Atlanta Braves are in town for the first of 3 games. Tonight, Logan Gilbert will get the ball, and the first pitch on Mariners.tv is at 6:40. To the American League West scoreboard we go from yesterday. So the Mariners fall back in the race in the American League West, and the Athletics continue to surprise. They rolled over the Guardians. The Mets knocked off the Angels. Astros won, though. They beat the Red Sox. Everybody does now. And the Tigers over the Rangers. All right, local prep baseball scoreboard from Friday. Eastmont swept the Eisenhower Cadets rather easily, I might add. 13-1 and 5-0. Wenatchee went down to Yakima, and they split with Davis. The Pirates won the opener 6-5. The Panthers came back to win the nightcap 5-2. West Valley has not lost a Big 9 baseball game in like 4.5 years. They improved to 18-0 by sweeping Moses Lake, and Kashmir had no problems with Kai B Friday on the diamond. Saturday, a few splits. First of all, Omak and Manson did battle, and Omak won both of those games. The first one was 11-6, and the final of the second was 9-1. Okanagan and Brewster split by a couple of lopsided scores. Okanagan won the opener 19-5, and Brewster came back and shut him out, or beat him 19-10. In the second game. Grandview swept Quincy 10-0 and 8-4. Ellensburg swept Ephrata 10-0 and 12-2. And Liberty Bell got by Tenasket 11-1. Prep softball scoreboard on Friday. The Wenatchee Panthers swept the Davis Pirates at home rather impressively, 17-0 in the opener and 22-3 in the nightcap. Eastmont split with Eisenhower. They won the opener 15-5, but they swept Eisenhower. My bad. They won the opener 15-5 and the nightcap 6-1. West Valley and Moses Lake did sweep. West Valley won the opener. Moses Lake won the nightcap. Brewster rolled over Okanagan in girls softball 30-5 and 19-2 on Friday, and Tenasket and LaConner split. Tenasket taking the opener, LaConner taking the nightcap. On Saturday in prep softball, Omak swept Manson 17-9 and 15-3. Bridgeport forfeited both of their games, thus the 1-0 score for Lake Roosevelt. Those are forfeits. That's not the actual final score. Tenasket beat Liberty Bell in the opener, and in the nightcap, Waterville Mansfield and Inchelium split, and Ellensburg swept Ephrata in prep softball on Saturday, 18-1 and 18-7. Prep soccer scoreboard: Wenatchee defeated Eisenhower in Yakima. The final there was 3-2 on Friday. Wapato snuck by Kashmir 2-1 on Friday. Chelan got by Bridgeport. Omak got by Soap Lake. For Quincy and Ephrata, their seasons are now over. That was first round of the District 5 two-way tournament. Toppenish eliminated Quincy. Othello eliminated Ephrata. So for the Jackrabbits and the Tigers, their boys' soccer season is over, and Liberty Bell beat Oroville. And again, for almost all of the smaller schools in our area, their postseason action, their various district tournaments, begin tomorrow. For the bigger schools, they don't start their district tournaments until next week. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. It's National Orange Juice Day. I drank a lot of that over the weekend. National Renewal Day, National Weather Observers Day, International Firefighters Day. You just briefly saw the holiday, and we'll throw that to you up again because it's May the 4th, and May the 4th be with you. It is Star Wars Day. George Lucas wanted to remake Flash Gordon. That was the whole genesis of Star Wars. He wanted to do a series of Flash Gordon movies. He came up with the idea in the late 1960s, but he could not get the rights to the Flash Gordon character, so he rewrote it. He did a 2-page treatment, as they say in the business, about Star Wars. He took it to Disney. They said no. Took it to United Artists. They said no. Took it to Universal. They said no. Took it to 20th Century Fox, and they said, yeah, we'll invest in it. We'll bankroll it. So he took his original treatment and turned it into a big script, and this was in 1973. And then he realized the screenplay was so long, he had about 3 movies. So he made a deal with 20th Century Fox. While they were filming the movie Star Wars, George Lucas took a $500,000 pay cut as the director. He was just a salaried employee, and 20th Century Fox would hold all the merchandising rights to the Star Wars characters. And its sequel, George Lucas said, I will take a $500,000 pay cut if I get to keep all of the merchandising rights and residuals from the Star Wars character. Smart move, George, because the Star Wars franchise is worth like $70 billion. And of course, he sold the whole thing to Disney, so made George quite wealthy. If you are a Star Wars fanatic, today is your day. May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Today in history, happy birthday, professional baseball. It happened on this date in 1871. The National Association was the name. That's the actual, those are the commemorative plaques that are on the very site where it happened. The Cleveland Forest Cities took on the Fort Wayne Kennenagas in officially the very first Major League game ever played. Fort Wayne won 2-0, a 4-hit shutout by pitcher Bobby Matthews. Catcher Bill Lennon scores the very first run in Major League Baseball history, and we'll get back to this at the end of Today in History. So there you go. Major League Baseball has a birthday. It's today, 155 years ago today. 122 years ago today, on this date in 1904, the United States took over building the Panama Canal. They took it from the French, of course. The French started the big ditch in 1881. They quit after 13 years. Malaria, mosquitoes, engineering problems. They said, this is stupid. We're never going to be able to connect the 2 oceans, so they quit. Theodore Roosevelt wanted to build it and operate it as an American deal, so he fomented a revolution. As you probably know by now, the Panama Canal was in Colombia, in South America. The people who lived in the Isthmus, they were kind of happy, but Colombia said, no, we don't want you around. So TR just made up a revolution. He got the Panamanians to declare their own country, and then he cut a deal with the folks in Panama to start building the ditch. Pretty good real estate deal. The U.S. paid the French $40 million for the rights to take over the canal, plus all the junk and the equipment that they left behind. The U.S. paid Panama, the new country, $10 million plus $250,000 a year, and they also paid Colombia, the country who they overthrew, so to speak, $25 million, plus Colombia wouldn't have to pay any fees, any tolls to go through the Panama Canal. And then, of course, in the late 70s, we gave it back to Panama, which was the right thing to do. 67 years ago today, May the 4th, 1959, the first Grammy Awards are held. The record of the year and the song of the year. The record of the year goes to the actual performers and producers. The song of the year goes to songwriters. It was the same record, Volare, Volare. It won both record of the year and song of the year. Nominated for record of the year was the Chipmunk song. I kid you not. The Grammy for Best Country and Western Performance went to Tom Dooley by the Kingston Trio, which is not a country and western song. And the Best Rhythm and Blues recording went to Tequila by the Champs, which is not a rhythm and blues song. Nice start, Grammys. It got worse before it got better. We talked about this on Friday. Nixon sends the troops into Cambodia to look for the Viet Cong. It did not go over very well. There was unrest in campuses in other places all over this country. And finally, on May the 4th, 1970, the Ohio National Guard, sent to Kent State University by the governor of Ohio, opens fire, killing 4 unarmed students, wounding 9 others. Here is Ike Pappas from CBS News.
Tear gas first started down the Commons, then the guard moved up on both sides of Taylor Hall and forced the kids off the Commons. Then one group, I don't know how many there were, 50 maybe, perhaps more, perhaps less, moved down to the practice football field.
After you feed them, then what will we do? Will you ask them to leave?
They've got grievances, they've got demands. The demands on both sides. We have to talk.
And then there were a whole lot of kids around them. A few kids were throwing sticks and stones, but that was only a handful, not more than 10, 15. And then the guard shot some tear gas up on the hill to disperse the crowd, and the kids picked it up and threw it back.
We'll fly out. Guard will make a perimeter, a circle, right out in here. From the right, you move out. You start a big circle around here.
You don't talk during a state of emergency, Mike. You know that.
Look,
Come on.
I'm sorry, but
we'll
I don't
talk
want
as
people
soon as
shot.
we get this settled
I don't
down.
want people shot on this campus, just as a citizen of this campus.
Who wants people
All
shot?
right, but they're sitting quietly.
Okay, will you ask them to leave?
This area immediately. Leave this area immediately.
And all of a sudden I heard the shooting. And then I saw people dropping to the ground, and then I fell to the ground also, because I couldn't walk anymore. And
what the investigators have to determine then is whether indeed there was a sniper and whether the guard was justified in firing its weapons, or whether, as some people here believe, the guard, under the pressure of a rock-throwing attack, panicked and fired its weapons indiscriminately, killing 4 people. Ike Pappas, CBS News, at Kent, Ohio.
The 4 killed: Jeffrey Miller, who was 20 years old. He was shot in the mouth. He died instantly. The famous photo of Marianne Vecchio standing over the body of Jeffrey Miller. Allison Krauss was 19 years old. She was shot in the chest. She died that day. Bill Schroeder was 19 years old. He was shot in the chest, died that day. And Sandy Shire, 20 years old, shot in the neck and bled to death before help could arrive 56 years ago today. And back to where we started. We talked about the very first baseball game and the very first run ever scored by Bill Lennon. Well, it was on this date in 1975, 51 years ago today, and 150 years to the day after Bill Lennon scored the very first run in Major League Baseball history. Bob Watson of the Houston Astros. Races around the bases. It was Milton May who hit a home run, but Bob Watson was on base. He touched home plate at the Astrodome and scored the 1 millionth run in Major League Baseball history. And as of Saturday, because I didn't have a chance to add them up today, there have been 2,209,415 runs scored in Major League Baseball. And birthdays. If you've ever seen the documentary Alone in the Wilderness, and I think you have, you know who Dick Prenneke was. In the late 60s, he hand-built a cabin in the wilderness of Alaska, about 200 miles due west of Anchorage, and then would live there for the next 30 years. And the subject of the documentary, Alone in the Wilderness, and its follow-ups. Dick Prenneke, born in the state in 1916, died in 2003 at the age of 86. Great documentary. Audrey Hepburn, born in the state in 1929, one of only 22 people to get an EGOT, competitive EGOT. None of her 4 awards were honorary. She earned them. She won an Academy Award, an Emmy Award, a Grammy Award, and a Tony Award. Of course, Roman Holiday, Sabrina, and the great thriller Wait Until Dark. That was a great movie. Audrey Hepburn, born in the state in 1929. And Rory McIlroy, who last month became just the 9th golfer in history to win the career Grand Slam. He did that last year with the Masters, and he won the Masters again. 2 times a PGA champion, 2 times a Masters champion. He won the U.S. Open and the Open Championship. Not bad. 9 major championships. He's currently ranked number 2 in the world. Rory McIlroy, the pride of Northern Ireland, is 37 years old today. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. My air conditioner turned on automatically because it's set. Thermostat is set. When it gets to that certain temperature inside the house, boom, it goes on. It's been on ever since. We are in for a very long stretch of abnormally warm May temperatures. We're talking temperatures 15, 19 degrees above normal all week, and maybe into next week as well. Is your AC going to be able to handle the workload? If something goes cattywampus, your first and only call should be to Alpine Air. Mike McNaughty has an opinion. When his wife is watching the Mariners, don't bug her. She's got better things to do. And then the Apple Valley Record Expo returns for its 5th run, and it is going to be this Saturday at the Oddfellows Hall. Joel Myrene puts the whole thing together, and you're going to want to be there. For one thing, you might be able to meet a local celebrity. And if not, you'll meet Joel when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCW Life would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether, we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Apple Valley Honda is bringing the future of driving to you. Introducing the all-new, all-electric Honda Prologue EV. Say goodbye to gas stations and hello to a whisper-quiet ride and zero emissions. The wait is over. Finally, a local option for a quality EV from a brand with a track record of exceptional quality and reliability. Experience the Honda Prologue EV for yourself at family-owned Apple Valley Honda. Stay close to home and visit us at Apple Valley Honda today for the life you live.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here.
Oh.
I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, I love my wife, Rosie. Yes, I do. But her obsession with the Mariners is driving me crazy. I mean, I'm trying to read a book. I'm doing work on the computer. Heaven help me. I'm trying to go to sleep. But she feels the need to update me on every pitch, every strike, every foul ball, every doggone thing that's happening that, frankly, I couldn't care less about. You know, my friends, my buddies, they understand that when God was handing out the sports gene, I stepped out for a beer. Rosie, so somehow equates a shared love of the Mariners as some sort of barometer for our relationship. Now she can disagree with me about Janis Joplin, appropriate toppings on pizza, or my obsession with cop shows, and none of this is any indication that she doesn't love me. But me telling her that I could care less if Julio got a hit or struck out, man, we don't even want to go there. Oh God, this is Mike Mad Dog McNutty, and that's my opinion.
News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCW Life Channel.
We've all dreamt of moving somewhere new. But what are home prices like? How are the schools? What are the state income taxes? And how's the weather? For all your questions, the Coldwell Banker Move Meter has answers. It's the only tool that lets you compare cities by cost and quality of living, so you can get a better idea of what your dream looks like and start making it come true. The Move Meter, only from Coldwell Banker. Live well with Coldwell.
When your heating or cooling system is giving you trouble, call the diagnostic doctor from Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning.
Here's the culprit right here.
All joking aside, when you call Dick's, you're calling 35 years of experience at customer service right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's strongly believes in repairing before replacing, and they service all major brands of HVAC units.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. with professional-grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to schedule a demo.
Welcome back to the program. Coming up on Saturday, May 9th, there's a lot going on, but you want to carve aside, I don't know, a couple of hours anyway, if you're into music, and even if you're not into music, you will be by the end of the day on Saturday, May 9th, because Joel Myrene is bringing it back. It is the Apple Valley Record Expo number
5 of the fourth year.
Joel and I first met 5 years ago. Joel, it was kind of a weird scenario. You don't need to really know the details, but he said, I'm trying to put together a record expo, Dan. Can you give me a hand? And I said, yeah. It was, you were taking a chance, Joel. You didn't know. You were like, I hope this works.
I did not know that you used to own a record store.
Yes, yeah, now you do. That was a long time ago. Obviously, this is the 5th one, so it seems to be working.
It does, yeah. Yeah, the demand seems to still be there with the vendors. The vendor spots, we opened them up on the 1st of the year, and they sold out right around late January. So, yeah.
Just like that?
Yeah, yeah, and we have a wait list currently of about 15 vendors or so. And the demand for buyers is, we'll see this year, but it seems to be, the interest is high. So, yeah.
How do the vendors who partake in buying, selling, and trading vinyl get word of the Apple Valley Record? I mean, for the first one, how do you get the word out that I'm going to try and put this together in Wenatchee, Washington?
Yeah, it was kind of trial and error for the first one. I did some Facebook ads, but it was a lot of I went to a couple record shows and gave out my info. And then the vinyl kind of community, as far as vendors, it's not huge, so kind of you meet people through other people. Yeah.
I talked to a number of them who have come every year. They haven't missed one yet. Some from Spokane, Seattle, Montana.
Yeah.
Guy from Flathead Lake brings thousands of albums, and he told me, he said, of course I would come.
Yeah.
I mean, it's this is an untapped market.
Yeah, that's probably John from Ear Candy Records.
Yep.
Yeah, and he, I love it when he comes every year because he brings in so many records, and it cycles through what he brings too. So it's not the same stuff every year.
Do you pick a date, or do you get a hold of all of your vendors who you know are going to want to come and say, what weekend can you come, because it's a commitment? Hauling records is a pain in the butt and all that other stuff. So how did that work? Was it whatever weekend you guys can come and I'll get the Oddfellows Hall, or was it like, this is it?
Yeah, it's a number of things you have to work around, but the most important is finding out that you have to make sure there's not another record show somewhere in the state, because
they do a circuit.
Kind of, yeah. Okay. There's the Lake City show in the spring. There's the Seattle Center show also in the spring. I think both those shows might be twice a year. So you have to really be careful not to land it on the same day. And then there's some in Tacoma too. There used to be some in Spokane, so yeah.
Again, it's May 9th at the Oddfellows Hall, which is where it has always been. I can't think of a better location for a record expo than the Oddfellows Hall, which has been very good to you, and it's a perfect location.
Yeah, I think so. It's great. It's kind of got that vintage vibe to it. We've done some work in it in the last year or two, so people can see that. But yeah, 2 floors, both floors of the Oddfellows Hall will be open. Probably about 30 vendor tables, maybe 31.
Okay.
Yeah, and records, some audio equipment, maybe a little bit of collectibles too.
Yeah, there's one guy last year had some vintage amplifiers that you can't find anymore. I'm one of those aficionados. I have a 1978 Marantz 2252B that, by the way, I'm going to be buried with. So sorry, siblings, you're not going to get that because there's a certain, not just a sound quality that you're going to get from these old-fashioned amps that you're not going to get from these digital amps, but it's kind of cool to have that retro amp in your house too.
It is, yeah. And we're lucky now that Jim McGreevy, who has kind of, now he will repair those things in town, which we didn't have someone doing that for a while. So
well, the big thing is recapping. Does he recap?
I'm not sure.
The older amps.
Yeah.
You need to have them recapped every once in a while.
Yeah, I would imagine so, because he does some great work. I would imagine so. Yeah, and he'll have some good audio equipment there.
Free plug for him, and a free plug for our buddy John, because people are going, you're not in the studio.
Yes.
Tell folks where we are and why we're here.
We are in Cashmere Records today. Cashmere Records is one of the sponsors of the Record Expo, and they opened almost about a year ago today. So a great spot in Cashmere to get some records. There's the coffee shop here too, the bookstore next door, and yeah, great selection.
Yeah, great selection, and keeping it local.
Yeah.
And that's important. It's in the basement, by the way, of the whatever the district's called.
Side Street Cashmere.
Side Street Cashmere.
Building.
So it's on Railroad, and then you walk in the main building, and you go downstairs,
Yep.
and you can't miss it.
Yeah. Yeah, when you enter downstairs, you get to the bookstore, and then just go a little further, and you go right into the record store.
How much coin have you dropped here at John's place?
I have no idea. I don't know.
The answer is you've spent some money.
That's true.
No deal. So usual deals apply for you real vinyl junkies, and you're looking at 2 of them right now. $5 will get you in the door an hour early.
Yep.
And you want to do that.
Yeah, that's kind of the best selection of records is the earliest, right? So if you want to pay $5, we'll let you in at 10 o'clock. 11 o'clock on, it's free, but really, like, you gotta, I think, the best selection's at 10 o'clock, and that's the only way that really the margins are in this whole thing, is like, to support it and keep it going, please come early, because that's how we keep the Record Expo going financially.
The first time that you did the early entry for $5, I showed up early, and there was a line.
Yeah.
A long line. I was rather surprised.
Yeah, it's kind of cool to see that. I try to get pictures of it every time, and it kind of goes down the block, and we get everyone in really quick, so yeah. Another
tip for you, again, if it's worth the $5 to get in early at 10 o'clock. And then if you come in at the last, say, hour to 45 minutes, you can score some really good deals, because a lot of these folks don't want to haul all those records out of here again, and you can do some negotiating.
Yeah, especially if you want to buy in bulk too, or if you just want to grab 2-3 records, or 20, 50. You're exactly right. They will make some great deals.
And they're very knowledgeable. Some of these folks only specialize in certain genres of music. Others only have stuff that's out of print. Others will carry some 45s. So all of these people know what they're talking about. They're just not in it for the dough, but they have a passion for it as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of my favorite parts of this whole thing is just talking to the vendors, learning a lot about records, and just being around kind of like-minded folks. The knowledge there is just vast, and yeah, really nice people. Not the snobby record store kind of cliche. It's kind of the opposite is what I've seen.
So do you have any specials going on this year? You usually do something kind of cool each year to make it different. What's for this year on May 9th? What do you have in the hopper?
Yeah, I mean, this year we would have like a kind of like a local vinyl record that we'd like to feature, but really this year there wasn't any local bands that happened to put out a record, so we don't have that this year. We do have a new T-shirt design here.
Oh, here, I'll hold that up while you talk.
Yeah.
About it.
So every year I try to kind of come up with a new T-shirt design to kind of make something fresh here. So we will have that for sale at the show. And we got Food by Touch of Soul.
They're back again?
Yep, they're back again.
Coffee?
No
Okay.
coffee this year.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
okay, that's fine.
But yeah, and then just, the 30 tables of vinyl. We'll have Road Trip Records there again. They're one of the sponsors. The Comet Magazine will be there. They're one of the sponsors.
Thank you, Ron.
Yes. Cashmere Records will be there. They're one of the sponsors. And the Time Capsule in Wenatchee will be there, and they're one of the sponsors too.
That's one of the places that I've been meaning to go to, and I haven't had a chance to go to yet. That's
Yeah,
the Time Capsule.
It's great. Yeah, yeah.
Anything else to say? How's the local music scene doing for you? I know you've been bringing in some bands, bringing in some stuff.
Yeah.
You're heavily involved in that, and you still are.
Yeah, so we just did the show last weekend at the Performing Arts Center with Matt Cameron from Pearl Jam and Soundgarden. It was part of the Black Box concert series, and I put that show together, and the local high school band Icarus opened. So that was really great. The show sold out, but more importantly, it was just really cool to see the turnout of people for that, and to have Icarus open, and Matt was so generous with his time, signing autographs, doing pictures and all that.
Icarus,
So-
were they the ones at the Janice Friends talent show at the high school?
Yes.
I can't remember.
Yep.
They're good.
They're really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The one thing I noticed about these guys, and it's not easy for high schoolers, you got to rehearse.
Yeah.
You got to rehearse, you got to play, you got to play, you got to play, you
Yep.
got to play. And a lot of these kids don't have that kind of time, but they seem committed to it.
Yeah, and early on when they were about 13 or so, they went to Pinnacles Prep, and during Pinnacles they had a class called Rock Band, which when I was in high school there would be no option for a class called Rock Band. So I think that's where kind of it started, and they were given that time that you need, to do that. I think most of them are at the regular high school now, but yeah, they've clearly put the time in. So yeah. So
Apple Valley Record Expo, it is Saturday the 9th, 10 o'clock early admission. At 11 o'clock it's free. Show up at 10, show up at 9:30 and stand in line, grab some coffee, and it's well worth it. You can score some pretty good deals. As far as exchanging money, it's between you and the record dealer. We need to stress this. Most of them are going to take a card, but you can't go wrong with bringing cash.
Yeah.
You really can't.
Cash is probably the best option usually. A lot of them will take card, and then there's the million other ways like Venmo, PayPal, but cash always works the best. It seems
Cash
like
is
you
the
can
best,
get-
and a lot of them will give you a discount if you pay cash.
Yep.
Because a lot of these folks have to pay a fee, or like a $2.50 processing fee, or whatever, and they're all up for negotiation. Some of them are some of them are a little more easygoing than others, and I've done this every time. I've never missed one yet. In fact, I think you've had to throw me out of a couple of them. But you can get together with the dealer and say, I'll take this, 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 and this for $40.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, they're going to say yes.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
So do you get the usual? I guess the best thing for you, Joel, and I've asked you this in the past because it's your record expo. Do you walk around at 9:30 on Saturday morning and go, oh, I mean, I don't blame you for first crack at some of the stuff.
I try to, but there's so much going on. I feel like right before the doors open that I usually don't get around to looking at stuff until at least 10, but probably closer to 11 or 12.
And then you have to work.
Yeah. Thankfully, my wife is there most of the time too, and so she's been great enough and gracious enough to work the Vinyl Record Expo table so I could spend some time looking for records. But yeah.
And if Joel's two incredibly cute kids, who by the way look like their mom, thank God. If you're watching Department of Labor and Industries, they're not working; they're just hanging around. So for being a guest on the show, I wanted you to have this record right here. So this is for me. Go ahead and enjoy it. It's the Jackson 5.
Oh, sweet.
That's my gift to you.
Thank you.
For doing the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Joel Myrene, it's good to see you.
You too.
I will see you on the 9th.
Excellent.
Provided you don't throw me out. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. We're in Cashmere Records. Check it out, folks. They're good people. John's a good guy. He's got a good taste in music, too. And we'll be right back.
For over 35 years, the Sangster family has been not only representing GMC, but the entire community.
As one of the few family-owned dealerships in Washington, you can count on our personal integrity, which has spanned over 3 generations, to ensure your satisfaction.
Sangster Motors stands behind everything we sell, from GMC professional-grade products and service from a professional-grade dealership.
Remember, caring about your family is what brings you back to ours.
Whether you're a new homeowner or looking to update, Save Mart in Wenatchee has everything you need. From top-of-the-line appliances to comfy mattresses and stunning furniture that fits your style, they have it all under one roof. With great deals and expert customer service, you'll find the perfect pieces for your space and your budget. Save Mart, your local destination for quality appliances, mattresses, and furniture at prices you'll love.
.61 degrees here in the Wenatchee Valley. Ephrata is at 70. Ephrata has already got to the 70-degree mark, and it's not even 8 o'clock in the morning. You folks out in the basin, you could set some record highs. Ephrata, Quincy, Moses Lake is a distinct possibility. We're not going to set a record high today. We came close both Saturday and Sunday. We were just 2 degrees off the record high on Saturday the 2nd, and just 2 degrees off the record high yesterday on Sunday. Not a record high today, but as you're going to find out here in just a couple minutes, we are in for some extremely warm weather for early May. But we have some extra time. People love the PTZ cameras. Why not? Let's fire them up again and see what we got here on this Monday morning. A few high clouds, and that's really about it. Beautiful view from our Wenatchee Heights camera. The hills are still green, but with this heat wave, that is certainly not going to last very long. I noticed that Mission Ridge lost quite a bit of snow over the weekend. No surprise there. Speaking of Mission Ridge, you can see Mission Ridge and Clockham in the upper right-hand corner of your screen from the Omi Garden camera. Omi Garden would be a beautiful place to go today. Lots of shade there, and it's just gorgeous. They had a great winter. They didn't really have a lot of maintenance to do this year to get the gardens up in shape. So, and by the way, buy a season's pass at Omi Gardens. It's the deal of the deal. It is well worth it. Get a season's pass. You'll be glad you did. We're heading on up to Stein, at the very top of Stein, and we have it flipped towards the Dryden area. There is downtown Dryden. I mean, obviously, because you can see the Dryden Dome and the Dryden Convention Center and the Hilton, the Dryden Hilton, Dryden International Airport. It's all right there, and beyond that, Beshaston, beyond that, Leavenworth, and well, you know what's beyond that. I don't need to tell you that stuff. And finally, well, speaking of going beyond Leavenworth, that is where Lake Wenatchee would be, and almost all the snow on the north face of Dirty Face is now gone. There was snow when we visited on Friday on the north face of, on the north side of Dirty Face Mountain. Now it is all but gone. It is that time of the year around here. We have a very warm weather forecast to get to and some shot talk, and we'll do that when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Get ready to sip, sway, and celebrate at the Lake Chelan Wine and Jazz Festival, May 14th through the 17th. Experience over 35 live performances featuring jazz, blues, funk, and more, all set across award-winning wineries and scenic venues around Lake Chelan. Enjoy world-class wine, incredible food, and one-of-a-kind musical journey through wine country. Don't miss the Lake Chelan Wine and Jazz Festival. Get your tickets now at chelanwinejazz.com.
A new video game, a movie, dinner with friends. There are a lot of things worth saving up for. Vapes aren't cheap, and buying pods over and over can stop you from affording things you want more. When it comes to your money, choose what matters. Choose you.
When life gets stressful, jumping into your passions can help you find your calm. Avoid vapes, which contain nicotine and can make feelings of anxiety and depression worse. When it comes to your mental health, choose what matters. Choose you.
Time for my live read for Pool to Spa Services. I'm liking this Bullfrog Spa thing so much I might have to give one myself. Upgrade relaxation with a Bullfrog Spa featuring the exclusive Jetpack therapy system. Is personalized comfort in every seat. Visit Pool to Spa Services in Wenatchee, and they'll design a spa built especially for you and your tushy, so to speak. Weather forecast, a couple of things I want to touch on. First of all, could be a little breezy up in the Omak area. There's some cold air, not particularly cold air, but basically cooler air coming down from Canada. It's not going to make it all the way down to the Wenatchee Valley, but we could see up in the Omak, Okanagan, Orville area, maybe Tenasket, a little breezy. Up in that area and out in the Columbia Basin right now. I mentioned Freitas at 70 degrees. They also have a north wind at 15 miles an hour, so the wind has picked up a little bit out in the Columbia Basin. But this is just an anomaly as the ridge of high pressure really gets going. And this is what the month of May is looking like for the entire month. This is the Climate Prediction Center. They spit this out Thursday of last week. They always do it on the last day of the prior month. We didn't have a chance to do it on Friday, so I'm doing it today. And there we go, folks. We are in for a long stretch of very elevated temperatures and below normal precipitation. This could be a precursor of what could be a long and hot summer, with all due apologies to Tennessee Williams, but that's what it's looking like for the month of March. The entire Pacific Northwest region, including the entire state of Washington and most of Oregon, it looks like we're going to see temperatures above normal for an extended period of time. Shop talk, real quick, if you don't mind. Well, let's do the forecast first. There you go. Sunshine, warm, 86 degrees, a little bit of a breeze, and that's about it. We will see a few passing high clouds, but that's really about it. Again, we hit 83 Saturday, 85 Sunday, and so we'll be at a little bit warmer than that today. 58 for the overnight low tonight. Not expecting any real high clouds on Tuesday. Lots of sunshine, a little bit cooler as that cooler air seeping down from Canada begins to make its way down to here. This huge ridge of high pressure, of course, spins clockwise, so we'll grab some cooler air from the north and send it down here, but not much. And then we go to 85, and then we go to 82, and this is going to be, look at that. A pretty good dose of rain would be just what the doctor ordered. That, my friends, is not at all in the forecast. Quick shop talk. We got one of the biggest soccer games that we're going to see around here in quite some time tomorrow night. Now, last month, Wenatchee defeated Eastmont in East Wenatchee 4-3 in a very thrilling and entertaining boys soccer match. The Wildcats are looking for revenge tomorrow. Eastmont travels over the river to take on the Wenatchee Panthers and leave off the field at the Apple Bowl. It's going to be just about drop-dead gorgeous and these are two of the very best high school teams in the state, regardless of classification. And this is going to be a good one. If you can't make it to leave off the field at the Apple Bowl, join us for the broadcast tomorrow. 6:45 airtime. 7 o'clock is when they get going with Sebastian and Daryl on the call. I'm going to be there. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be epic. Have a good and safe Monday, and we'll see you tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye.